Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be making some really simple and pretty floral themed cards using the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Cottage Fields collection. I shared the collection in my previous video, so I'll link that if you want to see all the different bits and pieces. But yes, in this video I'm just going to make these two, as I said, really simple but very, very pretty cards. These are actually cards I made for Mother's Day, and I know this is going to be published on Mother's Day, and you might be thinking, well, what's the point in sharing them now? It's the Mother's Day is over, but they don't actually really say Mother's Day on them, so you can use them really for any kind of event. They don't have any specific sentiment on, like birthday, anniversary, anything like that. You could even just use them as a simple little hello card for a pen pal or something. Oh, and obviously for my non-UK viewers, Mother's Day is on a different day for you anyway, so there you go. So for the base of my cards, I pulled out first a 4x6 cut apart that says a day to celebrate, and then from the 6x8 paper pad, that thing that says never forget how amazing you are, I've cut down the never forget how amazing you are to, I think it's about 4x6. That's not the exact measurements, but something like that. And as you can see, I'm going to back it on this really pretty sort of minty green polka dot, which is also from the 6x8 pad. And then with the pink piece, the 6x8 card, I cut it down slightly on either side just to make it a little bit thinner. I was going to back it with that really lovely busy floral with the black background, but I decided that if I put the pink straight onto that, it would be too much, it wouldn't work. So I'm giving that a really, really thin and slim white border so that there's just something breaking up between the pink and the flower pattern. With all the bits cut to the sizes I needed, I took the front pieces off to my Big Shot die cutting machine. In the pink piece, I die cut a very small little ornate rectangle kind of shape, and then on the black piece I cut the oval. You can see that there. And what I'm going to do with these is put in some dried and pressed flowers, but I'm going to laminate them first. So here I am slightly out of shot during this, so I apologise for that. I'm using the negative die cut piece to figure out the shape of where I can put the flowers and how much room I've got for them. I washi tape them into place so they don't, as soon as you pick up the laminating sheet, they might just completely, fall out of place and stuff. So I washi tape them down, making sure to put the washi tape in a place that is not going to be seen, cutting them down and just checking here that they fit in the little space, and I think those look super cute. These are all flowers that have just been picked from my garden. Some are even little sort of buttercup things and flowers that might be considered weeds to some gardeners, but anything pretty like that, little grasses and seeds and all that kind of thing. I just pick them and I press them in a big old book, leave them for about 6 weeks or so, and then you've got beautiful pressed dried flowers to use in your projects. So as you can see, I was just simply taping that on. I decided though, if I had the black floral background behind the laminated flowers, you wouldn't see them very well. It would be too busy. So I just got a scrap of paper that I had used from one of the other bits, and it had a lovely peachy blush pink background with a very subtle print on. So I have simply attached that to the back, so you've got something else behind the pressed flowers. On here, as you can see, figuring out where the oval needs to go, where to stick down the flowers and the laminated piece and everything. Just a little bit of, trial and error, figuring everything out. I tend to stick anything laminated plastic like that down with red line tape just because it's super, super strong and really good for this sort of thing. And then when it's stuck down, I will snip any laminated bits sticking out from the side. It's just so much easier to do it that way than try and measure it exactly and put it in exactly the right place. And it's just the idea of that just stresses me out. I like to make things as easy and as simple as possible, especially in my crafts and card making, because if it's stressful, you don't really want to do it. There's no fun in doing it. So there they are. I am simply gluing them or taping them onto some card blanks. For the card blanks, I just took 5x7 card blanks and cut them down to the right size. Now, at this point, you could just leave them as is, and I think they would be beautiful cards as they are. You've got your lovely flowers and the sentiment and a couple of flowers and stuff on the card itself, and yeah, they would do nicely as is. But this is me. I can't stop at minimalist cards. I have to add all of the things. So firstly, I took this cut apart card, which is from the 6x8 pad, and just fussy cut out the word you. So on the pink card it says a day to celebrate you, making it more Mother's Day-ish. This one was for my grandma. Very indecisive there about where to stick the U, whether to have it underneath or at the end of the phrase. I knew I was going to add things to that bottom corner, so I thought it might balance it out if I put the U on the other side. I'm taking bits and pieces from the bits and pieces pack, the ephemera pack, the floral ephemera pack from the collection, sticking them on like so, and then I'm just going to snip off the excess, and I'm going to keep all those other little excess bits that I've snipped off and use them either in other places on the card or on the other card as well. So you have the effect of the flowers coming in from the outside. I swapped over to my glue gun here, mostly because I prefer to use it, but it also gives things a little bit of dimension without having to put in the effort of adding foam tape and whatnot. Adding the glue gun, you get just that little bit of dimension without too much effort. So I'm going to keep going with that technique. I fussy cut a couple of flowers from that little card I'd got the word U from, so I've added those. I fussy cut a butterfly as well, and I'm also going to pull out a load of butterflies from that floral ephemera pack. But first I wanted to add some more dimensional flowers, so I have these really teeny tiny little blue minty turquoisey ones. These are from Hobbycraft. I started off, you see those white ones that are just in on the right side there. I was going to use those because white tends to work with everything, but they were just too big. I think with the pressed flowers, there's a sort of a delicate element, a delicate theme to the whole thing. So using the smaller flowers worked a little bit better. And I'm only adding a few of them in the corners. I'm not overdoing it or anything, but I do think they look cute, and they obviously add a more of a 3D element to the whole card. Once those were on though, I decided I wanted some more butterflies, and the butterflies from the ephemera pack were all a little bit big for what I wanted, so I'm going to fussy cut some from this 12 by 12 paper from the collection, but there's also this pad in the 6 by 8, and the butterflies would obviously be even smaller. So yes, going to fussy cut a few of those. And then I'm going to use my glue gun to adhere those to the card, kind of tucking them behind the flowers a little bit. I'm going to fold the butterflies and just add the glue gun to the very center, so you get that dimensional feel of sort of the butterfly flapping its wings. And yeah, as I said, tucking those in and around the flowers for the most part. At any stage though, throughout my whole process, I think if you were doing the same thing, you could really stop at any point, like with the ephemera flowers, with the 3D flowers, that you can stop at any point and still have a really pretty card. I've said this in the past, I am more of a maximalist when it comes to my card making. I love adding all of the things, and I'm just not very good at minimalism, so that's why I just keep going. To finish off, of course, I'm going to add some Nouveau drops, and also these are the Dovecraft, I can't think what they're called, like the enamel effects, pearl effects. These are the Dovecraft ones I'm using here in the colour Coral, and these ones you tap them from behind to flatten them out. If you don't do that, you'll get a sort of an awkward little peak, like kind of like a Hershey's Kiss shape. So yes, you just tap them from behind. They're not like the Nouveau drops that flatten themselves. I also used vintage white drops on that card, and then on the black card I'm using Dream drops in Frosted Lake, and then the vintage white drops again. And then here are my cards. So fairly easy to make, but I think they're really pretty. I love the pressed flower look on anything, but I think they look particularly lovely on these cards. Thank you so much for watching. As always, links in the description box. I do buy all my Simple Stories products from the Organised Hedgehog, who I do PR for, so there will be a code you can use if you are interested in the description box. And yeah, I think that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much again. Bye bye.